Outgoing President Donald Trump took to Twitter, a little bit of a rage, after House Democrats and Republicans, sorry, overrode his veto of the NDAA. That's the National Defense Authorization Act. So here's a tweet in question. He said, "Weak entire Republican leadership will allow the bad defense bill to pass. Say goodbye to vital Section 230 termination. Your national monuments, forts, names, and treasures inserted by Elizabeth," and that's, of course, he's going to use the slur against Native Americans. 5G and our great soldiers being removed and brought home from foreign lands who did nothing for us. A disgraceful act of cowardice and total submission by weak people to big tech. Negotiate a better bill or get better leaders. Now, Senate should not approve NDAA till fixed. Okay. Get better leaders. Interesting. Because, you know, we just had an election that's about all of that. I mean, look, I don't think Joe Biden is going to be a great president. Is he going to be better than Trump? Yes. That's not even a question. It's really because it's not because of Joe Biden being good at all. It's because of how bad Donald Trump is. Again, it's really, I mean, it's going to be really tough to be less popular than Donald Trump right now. All you need is some, of course, functioning brain cells and have a mentality higher than that of a spoiled child to do better than President Trump. So anyway, let's break down the deets of this. All right. So now Trump's opposition to the NDAA, which is full of course, bad stuff. For example, billions going to the military, is not because of billions going to the military to inevitably used to be, you know, bomb weddings in the Middle East. No. We're still doing that. No. You know, nobody interrupts the American war machine. All right. No, his opposition to this is that he wanted to rename military bases after Confederate leaders. Okay. So, or I'm sorry, he wanted to block renaming the bases after, he wanted to block a provision that would change the names of these bases away from Confederate leaders. So I just wanted to be very, very clear on that, okay? Because I think, look, why did we name these military bases after Confederate leaders anyway? I mean, come on, right? It's almost like naming a military base after Benedict Arnold, all right? If you're going to name a base after a Confederate leader or Confederate general, all right? The Confederates were literal traitors to America. Why are we celebrating them? Why is anybody celebrating them? Why are people celebrating the abysmal failure that is the Confederacy? They were the ultimate losers. They lost. They couldn't even last for more than 5 years, okay? We've got television series that have lasted longer than the Confederacy. The presidency of Barack Obama, first black president, lasted longer than the Confederacy. I mean, on and on and on, okay? MySpace lasted longer. At Microsoft's MP3 player, the Zune, lasted longer than the Confederacy. And you don't see people having a cult mentality of the Zune, okay? Again, literal failed state, whose only purpose was to ensure that the chattel slavery of African Americans was enshrined in the law for wealthy plantation owners. If you think this was about federal power versus state power and states' rights, well, you've been propagandized by people, of course, who wouldn't mind returning to those days where you could have people working for free. Just saying. To me, anyway. Okay, so there's that. Let's talk about Section 230, all right? So this is important. Now, Donald Trump is looking to eliminate Section 230, along with other Republicans, Lindsey Graham, for example. Now, what is that? That is a liability shield for social media companies. It prevents them from being held liable from things that users post. So now, to me, this is a no-brainer, all right? If I want to call a politician a dipshit for not supporting Medicare for all or $2,000 stimulus checks, like, hey, Mitch McConnell, you're a dipshit, then okay, and they decide that they're going to get all offended and upset over it. Well, that's on me. That's not on Twitter's fault. Okay, I posted it to social media, and I was able to tweet at Mitch McConnell that he's a dipshit. That's not Twitter's fault. Yes, Twitter is the medium, but really that's me saying that. That's not Twitter saying that. Twitter should not be held accountable for the things that people, its users, post. At least when it comes to opinion stuff. All right? And if I want to do a video calling Donald Trump a low IQ man baby, then, okay, well, that's not on YouTube. That's not YouTube's fault for letting me post that video. No, that's on me. I'm the one that's saying things. I'm not the corporation. I'm not the company. Just like somebody on the right wants to call me a cuck soy boy. Okay, who cares, right? That's fine. They can do whatever they want. They have the freedom to do that. You know, as long as they don't break, I guess, TOS. Because again, you have exceptions made for libel and slander on these social media platforms. These social media platforms do have rules that they do enforce, although they do enforce it rather unevenly, to be fair. But again, slander and libel's codified into law. You can't actually do that, right? And so that also breaks TOS, which means you can have your video or tweet removed, your account suspended, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? And so we have laws that allow you to take people to court for libel and slander. Why do we need to now hold these corporations liable for what their users post on those platforms? You know what it's about. And it's so petty, okay? This is about Twitter. Donald Trump is mad at Twitter because Twitter will label his tweets false when he is giving out false information. He wants to punish social media companies for not allowing him and his followers, his fans, to spread blatantly false, harmful, and sometimes even defamatory things. Okay? Now the thing is, putting a disclaimer on the tweet and leaving it up is about the most milquetoast thing that you can do. And yet the president wants to punish them anyway. It really kind of shows you how petty he is, what his motivations are. Okay? That's really the takeaway here from these tweets. Okay? It's just a list of grievances that don't actually mean anything and shouldn't be tied to meaningful policy legislation. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.